Welcome to Echoes of Kindness, where we bring you true stories that remind us of courage, compassion, and humanity. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, because the story you're about to hear will leave you breathless. It begins on a quiet evening in New York City, the kind of evening when everything looks perfect from the outside, but inside one mansion, perfection was only an illusion. The man inside was Ethan Cole, one of the most powerful billionaire CEOs in America. Founder of a global tech empire, known for his charm in public and his cruelty in private. His wife, Clara, was 7 months pregnant. To the world, they were a picture-perfect couple, gracing magazine covers, charity events, and luxury parties. But behind those closed glass doors, Clara lived in fear. That night, Ethan came home furious. His stock had dropped 3%, and someone on his board dared to question his decision. He slammed the door. His voice echoed through the marble halls. "Clara," he shouted, "where's my drink?" She rushed from the kitchen, her hands trembling slightly. "It's right here, Ethan. Before she could finish, the glass flew from his hand and shattered against the wall. "Do you call this cold?" he hissed. "You can't even do one thing right." Clara stepped back, holding her stomach instinctively. She wanted to run, but she'd done that before. He had her followed, watched, tracked. "You embarrass me," he said, walking toward her slowly. "You think anyone would believe you if you told them I hurt you? You're nothing without me, Clara. Nothing." Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't answer. Because she knew, in this world, money spoke louder than bruises. Outside, the rain began to fall. It was the only sound that could drown out the violence that followed. That same night, just a few miles away, a group of bikers were gathered in an old roadside diner. They weren't the usual rough, reckless type. These were men and women with a mission, the Iron Hearts. Their leader, Jake Miles, was a former soldier. He had seen the worst in war, but nothing made him angrier than seeing injustice at home. As thunder rolled outside, Jake noticed a woman walk into the diner. Soaked, shaking, and crying. It was Lydia, one of the housekeepers from Ethan Cole's mansion. "Please," she said, breathless. "Someone has to help her. He's going to kill her." Jake stood up slowly, his dark jacket gleaming under the diner's lights. "Who?" "Clara Cole, Ethan's wife. I work there. He's hurting her. Right now." The other bikers exchanged glances. They all knew Ethan Cole. Everyone did. The billionaire who owned half the city, the man the police never dared to touch. Jake clenched his fists. "You called the cops?" Lydia nodded. "They said they'll send a car, but that was an hour ago." "No one's coming." Jake's jaw tightened. "Then we'll go." One of his men, Rico, hesitated. "Jake, it's Ethan Cole. He's got private security. We'll get ourselves killed." Jake looked at him. "And if we don't go, a woman and her unborn child die tonight. I didn't survive a war to stand by and do nothing here." He tossed a few bills on the counter. "Let's ride." Moments later, the roar of engines cut through the rain. The Iron Hearts rode through the city, lightning flashing above them like a call from heaven itself. Meanwhile, inside the mansion, Clara lay on the floor. Her face bruised, her breathing shallow. Ethan stood over her, his eyes cold and empty. "You'll apologize," he said, his voice eerily calm now. "And then you'll tell the press you fell. Understand?" Clara looked up weakly. "Why do you hate me so much, Ethan?" He smirked. "Because you make me feel weak. And I don't tolerate weakness." Then, the sound of engines. Loud, close. Ethan frowned. "What the hell is that?" Before he could check, the mansion gates shook violently. The bikers had arrived, 8 of them, headlights blazing through the storm. Jake dismounted and signaled to Rico. "Cut the power." Within seconds, the mansion went dark. Inside, Ethan's security scrambled, but they were no match for the disciplined precision of the Iron Hearts. 2 guards knocked out cold before they even drew their weapons. Ethan grabbed his phone. "You idiots, get in here," he barked. Then, the front door burst open. Jake walked in, dripping rainwater, his boots echoing against the marble. Behind him, the rest of the crew spread out silently. Ethan's voice was loud, arrogant. "Who the hell are you?" Jake didn't answer right away. His eyes fell on Clara, lying near the staircase. "She needs a doctor," Jake said calmly. Ethan laughed bitterly. "You don't know who you're dealing with. I can buy and sell you with one phone call." Jake took a step closer. "Maybe, but you can't buy your way out of this." Ethan's face twisted in anger. "You break into my house, and you think you'll walk out alive." He reached for a pistol hidden under the counter. But Rico was faster. A kick, and the gun skidded across the floor. Jake grabbed Ethan by the collar, slamming him against the wall. "You like hurting people who can't fight back, huh?" he growled. "Try me," Ethan sneered. "You'll regret this. I own the police, the media, everyone." Jake looked him dead in the eye. "Not us." He motioned to the others. "Get her out." Clara tried to speak, but her voice trembled. "Please, my baby." "Hang on," said one of the bikers, a woman named Nina. She knelt beside her, checking her pulse. "You're gonna be okay." Ethan struggled, trying to break free, shouting threats, until Jake's fist silenced him with one clean punch. Outside, the bikers formed a shield as they carried Clara to their van. Rain poured harder now, washing away the blood on the driveway. They drove her straight to St. Mary's Hospital. The nurses gasped when they saw her condition. Jake stayed outside, soaked, waiting, praying. Hours passed. Then the doctor came out. "She's stable," he said. "The baby's okay too. You got her here just in time." Jake finally let out a breath. But Ethan wasn't done yet. By morning, every news channel was covering a shocking story: biker gang invades Billionaire's home. Ethan stood before cameras, his face bandaged, his lies rehearsed. "These criminals broke into my home," he said. "They attacked me and my wife. I barely escaped alive." The reporters ate it up, until one voice interrupted. It was Lydia. She stepped in front of the cameras, trembling but determined. "That's not true," she cried. "I saw what he did to her. He beat her. He's been doing it for months." The crowd erupted in gasps. Ethan's face froze. Then, one by one, more witnesses came forward: the driver, the chef, even Clara's private nurse. Each with photos, recordings, and messages she had secretly sent them. Within hours, the truth went viral. Hashtags flooded social media. Hashtag justice for Clara trended worldwide. Ethan's empire began to crumble. His board suspended him. The police, now forced by public pressure, issued an arrest warrant. And in the hospital room, Clara watched it unfold on a small TV. When Jake visited, she smiled faintly. "You saved me." Jake shook his head. "No, you saved yourself. You just needed someone to stand behind you." She looked at her newborn son in her arms. "I'll name him Miles, after you." Jake's eyes softened. "You don't have to. I want to," she said. "Because he'll grow up knowing that courage is stronger than fear." Months later, Ethan Cole was sentenced to prison for domestic abuse, obstruction of justice, and corruption. His once mighty company collapsed, but out of that darkness, something new rose. Clara started a foundation, the Iron Hearts Foundation, to help women trapped in abusive relationships. She worked with Jake and his crew to rescue and support victims across the country. In one of her first public speeches, she said, "Money can build walls. Power can silence truth. But kindness, courage, and unity, they break chains." The crowd gave her a standing ovation. Jake stood in the back, wearing his old biker jacket. When Clara spotted him, she smiled. Later, outside, under the setting sun, Jake said, "You changed everything, Clara." She shook her head. "No, Jake, we did." And with that, they rode again. Not for revenge, not for fame, but to keep protecting those who had no one else. Because sometimes, heroes don't wear suits or badges. Sometimes, they wear leather jackets and ride in the rain. And that night, the night when no one dared to stop a billionaire, they did. And the world remembered. If you believe courage can change lives, share this story. You never know, someone out there might need to hear it today. This is Echoes of Kindness. Real stories, real humanity. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay kind, stay brave, and never stay silent.